Hey there, welcome to Ditchin. My name is Menji, and this is the continuation of our cross-country road trip. So, we went to this ghost town called Calico Ghost Town in California. They had some really cool, old-timey, shops set up, and it was really cool to look around. And then after that, we drove to the RV park in California, which was about 10 minutes away from Disneyland. So we checked out Disneyland. So, after a great couple days in Disneyland, we headed out on our adventure back home. So day 12, we went from California to New Mexico. We traveled through most of California, the bottom half of Arizona, and then we made it about almost halfway through New Mexico before we had to stop. We spent $371 on gas this day. We had to use my other credit card this days because I lost my credit card in California that I was using for the trip. But luckily, I had an extra one. And I realized that I lost my credit card as soon as I lost it. So, we were 10 minutes down the road. I was like, can you check my wallet to see if my credit card's there? And it wasn't there, so we rushed back, checked the machine that I paid the gas on. It wasn't there, so someone probably took it, but I immediately canceled it, and we are good to go. And I got my new one when I got home, so that's cool. It's really cool how the landscape changes from Arizona to New Mexico. We also were officially on Route 66. So I took this little video. There was a random casino at a gas station, which was pretty cool. And now we're on day 13. We are in New Mexico at this point, and we are going to Arkansas. So we travel from the rest of through New Mexico, the top of Texas. Bruno got to see where he originally was born, because we rescued him from Texas. We're not sure which part of Texas, but he's from Texas. And then we went through Oklahoma, and then pretty much all the way through Arkansas, because our RV park at that point was on the Mississippi River, which is on the right side of Arkansas. So this was a really, really long drive, and we spent $605.74 on gas. So we finally made it to Tennessee. We pretty much just stayed in Tennessee for today. We traveled to a different part of Tennessee, but we stayed on the Mississippi River, which was really cool to see. We spent $139 on gas, traveling from where we were in Tennessee to the other part of Tennessee. We also went to the Parthenon, which was really cool. It's this cool Greek structure. We didn't go inside because it was closed because it was Mother's Day, but it was really cool to see. And then as we were getting close to Pigeon Forge, there was this really cool street that had a bunch of bizarre attractions. They had a Titanic museum that was in the shape of the Titanic and other cool stuff. And then we made it to day 15. We stayed at this cool RV park with this cool water slide. We also visited the Dolly statue in Tennessee, and we traveled to West Virginia this day, and we spent $139 on gas. We traveled from the rest of the amount of Tennessee, and then we traveled through Virginia, And then most of the way through West Virginia, we really wanted to get home at this point, and the scenery around us really reminded us of being back home because a lot more trees, a lot more greenery, where we used to just desert the whole time. So it was really cool to be almost home. Day 16, we are on the final leg of our journey here. We stayed at yet another Cracker Barrel. So many Cracker Barrels on this trip. We went from West Virginia to Massachusetts on this trip. We went through a lot of states. We went through West Virginia, Maryland for like a second, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. And we spent the less amount of money going through all those states because they're so small. We spent $150, including the $15 to refill the propane tank that we had to fill before we returned the RV. But all in all, it was a great trip, and something that you probably all were wondering to know, how much did it cost for the full trip in gas? So we spent $3,070 on gas. And that's it. That's my trip. That's what we saved for. I definitely didn't save enough. So gas was a lot more expensive than I originally planned. I thought it was going to be around like $2,000 for gas, and that's what we saved. But obviously ended up being more than that. It ended up being like $3,070. So I do have to save a little bit to get rid of that debt. But all in all, the whole trip cost us like $5,000 to $6,000, which is a lot less than it would be if we flew to where we wanted to go, if we stayed at a hotel, or if we stayed at an Airbnb, if we rented a vehicle. So this was definitely worth it. You should definitely take an RV trip if you can. Doesn't have to be with Cruise America, but Cruise Americas are everywhere, and they're pretty good for a beginner RV like me. So if you like this video, make sure you click the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And now it is time to tackle the debt.